say is, look, we've got a fantastic group of people in the room. Hospice North Shore has just such a wonderful reputation locally. So as a local person, you know, my home's in Northcote, took me about 5 minutes to get here, so I didn't have to worry about the Wellington fog. You know, I know from long experience that people have real confidence in the services that they receive here locally at Hospice North Shore. But the issue is really, you know, we've got this massively increasing demand for palliative care. So that's going to increase by about 50% over the next 20 years. About 25,000 New Zealanders receiving palliative care services at the moment. That's going to go up to over 37,000. So that's a huge increase in demand. At the same time, you know, we've had some real variation in the quality and coordination of services around the country. So I get lots of emails from people about all sorts of aspects of the health system, but that has really come through. And I think there's a bit of a misconception about end-of-life care in New Zealand. So with the knowledge and the skills we have across the workforce, people should be having a restful end-of-life phase. So the old horror stories that people have heard, they just shouldn't happen anymore. And I think that actually feeds into the wider euthanasia debate. So the challenge has been, how do we raise the quality of services right across the country and meet that growing demand? And I just want to acknowledge Professor Merrin Gott, who's here, who chaired the review group. So since 2015, we've had this group looking at the strategy for palliative care services into the future. And so we're releasing the review of adult palliative care services on the Ministry of Health website today. And as the companion document to that, we've got the action plan to back it up, because it's no good just having the strategy without some actions. And so what the review basically showed, and many of you will have been involved in that, but there's a need for greater coordination of services, a need to focus on the quality of services, raising those, and increasing the range of services available to patients and their families, with an increasing emphasis on the community. And so, Barbara, when you're talking about that strategic view across the hospices, you know, that aligns well with what we're trying to do, because we've got to have a plan that everyone's on board with and a clear direction. And one of the things about strategy, it's really important that people understand, you know, the plan and the outcomes we're striving for and where things are going overall. So, you know, the money is really important, obviously. We put $76 million into palliative care in the 2015 budget, and $24 million of that was specifically for community services. But I'm very conscious, actually, that, you know, there's increased demand for services, and there will be more calls for funding into the future. But the broad point I'd make, actually, is we couldn't have the services which, you know, so many New Zealanders benefit from without the work, not only of the trained workforce, so doctors, the excellent nurses, but also the volunteers. So I know that the people here who represent volunteers, as well as the CEOs of the 6 Auckland regional hospices and the chairs, you'll be well aware of that. But, you know, palliative care is a service that just can't be delivered without all that backup, and the community involvement is really important. And that's why I think actually this strategic document is important, because we've got people involved in palliative care from a wide range of backgrounds, and having people clearly understand what the plan and the direction is, as well as what the actions are to improve the delivery of care over the next 3 to 5 years and meet demand for the next 20 years, why that's so important. So it would be great, actually, I mean, not everyone's got time to read all the paperwork, but it would be well worth, you know, pointing anyone involved in palliative care, either as a specialist or right through to the community volunteers, just point them to the summaries of these documents so that they get a sense of what's happening. But what I can say is, and my colleague Maggie Barry is just arrived. But you know, like me, she's rushing around doing different stuff. So Maggie had another engagement before. But look, what I can say is palliative care is a real priority for the government. Prime Minister Bill English takes a personal interest in it. His wife is a doctor. And, you know, like us all, he's had a wide range of family experiences. And so I think, you know, most New Zealanders have had an experience of end-of-life care, you know, in the course of their lifetime, relatives, friends. Some of those experiences may not have been so great, some of them hopefully have been excellent. But what we want to do overall is raise the quality of that experience for all New Zealanders, so that wherever you go in the country, the care, the quality and the coordination is just as good as we're lucky enough to experience here at Hospice North Shore and at our Waiakea area. So thanks very much to everyone who's contributed to this plan, but also really importantly to those working in the field, but also to those people who are experiencing the services and, you know, coming here to be with us today, because actually it's really important to put a human face to palliative care. And also, you know, there's a lot of life to live for all of us, whatever stage of life we may be at. So just want to acknowledge everyone who's made a contribution here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.